Welcome to the DLLS Rangers Weekly Podcast, now part of the All City Network. Hit the subscribe button for YouTube and also become a DLLS diehard at www.alldlls.com. Now here's Jeff and John. Hey everybody, welcome to the DLLS Rangers Weekly Podcast. This is episode number 35. Today, Texas Rangers right-handed pitcher Cole Winn's going to join us, kind of the one of the unsung heroes in what he's done since he's come back up to the big leagues. He's really been good, Jeff.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's hard to argue. I mean, we're not going to talk about his streak because that's like talking about Jacob deGrom's perfect game the other day, but he's been good.
No question about it. And of course, he's one of my favorites because he's from Colorado and just a good guy, good golfer. And looks like he's getting kind of establishing himself here in this bullpen.
Hey, I'll tell you what, he's earned his spot. That's what's great, and it's hard to let go of it. I mean, look, he's not on the short list to get moved around for a roster. Right now, he's valuable. He's even coming in a few leverage situations.
Yeah, he has. So yeah, we'll see what's changed for him. He's been on our show multiple times and always offers us some pretty good insights. So looking forward to that. While we're introing everything, DLS is having a hell of a sale right now, $36 at $3 a month. alldls.com/join. Get on there, get all of our content, not just what I write, but what we do for Cowboys, Mavs, and Stars. And you get a free shirt out of the deal too, so it's hard to beat. We're rolling over there. We keep rolling over.
Hey, message Jeff. Yeah, message Jeff and I. We'll hit you with links, whatever, to do that, to get the special. Do that. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah. So Anyway, back to the big league club. You kind of mentioned it there at the beginning with Jacob deGrom. Pretty good stuff the other night. I was sitting there in Baltimore, and I was like, "This might be happening." It didn't happen, but it was still really, really good. And the Rangers won. And that's kind of the luxury of deGrom. You have him to stop losing streaks,
right?
And you have him to start winning streaks. And so that was a big game the other night to win a 4 straight road series. He went out there and just shoved, and it was pretty neat to watch.
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable too. I mean, it's funny how the Heat. Everybody hates the Heat, especially people that watch the games and all of that. But I tell you what, he changed nothing, yet he was hitting 100 miles an hour relatively easily. And I think it had to do with the heat. I mean, when you get a little hot, you're just a little warmer, you stay warmer, and that arm flows a little fluider. But he hit 100 miles an hour, and he didn't look like he was changing anything or trying to throw hard.
Well, I think his mechanics were in a good place, and that seems to be – those two seem to be correlated. When Jacob deGrom is throwing hard, he feels good about his mechanics, or he's not thinking about his mechanics. When he's 90, 95, 96, 97, something's not right with his mechanics. And you can tell by the location of the pitches too. He's so meticulous with what he does. And, makes sense. He is the standard. People talking about, you got to reach a certain standard. Jacob deGrom's the standard, and he's trying to reach his own standard. And it ain't easy when you're that good. But considering he's still coming back from Tommy John, this is his first full season back. So this is like his rehab year. This is the all right, there might be some bumps in the road year. If these are the bumps, then holy underwear. He's going to be pretty good these last 2 years of his contract in 26 and 27.
Been worth every penny, I'm telling you. And I know that sucked what happened in 23 and 24, basically coming back from all of that. But good Lord, it's been worth every penny. This is what you paid for. He looks healthy. He's just exciting to watch. He's great and in a good mood when he's healthy. He's just, which he's never in a bad mood, I don't think. I mean, He's more emotional as far as when he was hurt, he was just frustrated. He's never been a jerk or an asshole or anything like that. He's always been really nice, but it is fun to see him healthy and going.
For sure. The Rangers paid good money for the guy. And, but he really is just a heck of a pitcher. He's everything that, the Rangers said he was when they signed him. And, it's just fun to watch, and you hope that he continues to feel good, and that's the key. He hasn't missed a start. They've manipulated the rotation to give him extra days, but he has made every start. He's almost at 100 innings, and that's something to watch in the second half. But it's just been really good.
Well, yes, and that aside, this team is finally, look at it's the last few games. They've manufactured runs. It's been fun to watch. They're tweaking this lineup every day. They're moving it around. Some guys are starting to look like they're coming out. Josh Young had a good game the other day, multiple hits. It's just fun. If this offense can break out, which I equate it to when you're drinking beer. It's, that you're drinking a lot of beer, but you never go take a whiz. And finally you break that seal and all of a sudden you're whizzing the rest of the time. This seal needs to be broken. And I don't know that it's broken yet. They've scored some runs. Like the record is unbelievable when they score at least 4 runs in a game and all of that. But it just seems like they're right on the cusp of maybe breaking out. And that just means, look, there's going to be guys no matter how hot the Rangers are going, there's going to be guys in that lineup that go through a patch, maybe 4 games in a row where they don't get a hit. They're 0 for 16, something like that always happens. But those guys in that lineup know how to do what to do to move players, do whatever, and do things. And but right now, what the biggest problem is you've had 5 guys in the lineup doing that haven't gotten a hit in 3 or 4 days or whatever, and you're just getting it going. It's fun to see this offense look like it has a little bit of life in it.
Yeah, and I think the win on Tuesday helped with that. Helped kind of give them a boost of confidence. They hadn't come back from game. Let me start over. They were 2-29 when trailing after 7 innings.
Yep.
And they were up 4-0 in the 7th. No hitter for Jake Latz, and then all of a sudden Chris Martin uncharacteristically gives up 3 homers, and the Rangers are behind. I mean, that's a kick in the nuts, and they were able to respond, and they did it by manufacturing a run, a walk by Sam Haggerty, 2 stolen bases. He scored on a sacrifice fly by Jonah Heim, and then the Rangers ended up, winning the game 6-5. Their speed played a big factor. They can't be picky. They can't sit and wait for their 3-run homer.
Right.
They haven't. They just aren't hitting home runs for whatever reason, but they can still put the ball in play. They can still do what the game asks them to do, as Ron Washington used to say: get a guy from second to third with a grounder to second. Hit a fly ball that a guy can tag on and move it from second to third. Whatever it is, this team needs to do it. They can't be playing for the big innings. They'll happen. Maybe you manufacture a run. And lo and behold, you have it starts something. You just never know. And
right.
But hey, while 1 run inning is better than a lot of these zeros the Rangers have posted. So whatever they just need to continue to get on this trend of manufacturing runs. And Sam Haggerty's been a big part of that. I just published a story at alldls.com/Rangers about him and his contributions, and depending on what happens with Wyatt Langford and this left side tightness, they may need Haggerty. I don't know that he's an everyday player, Sam Haggerty, but
sure,
I sure do want to see him more.
Hey, what he kind of reminds me of, a switch hitting Janikowski and what he did for the team in the 23 season when
Yeah.
when he came in, he did good things, and you could use him, and when he needed to start, he started. But his job was his job, and he knew what his job was, which I think also makes you more comfortable in the situation that, hey, I'm not here to be a starter. I'm here to be, what they need of me. And boy, he's taken total advantage of that. He came in on a minor league deal. He didn't even make the team out of spring training.
Yeah.
And coming in, and now that's what it reminds me of. A little bit, truthfully, batting from both sides of the plate is a little more valuable than Jankowski, who, I love Jankowski, a buddy of mine. I got to know him good. But I, like you said, so impressed with what Haggerty's doing. But let's go past Haggerty, because we're hearing it. You know it. They've got it announced. We've got Eovaldi tonight, right?
Nathan Eovaldi is starting. Only probably about 4 innings out of him because he didn't make any rehab starts. He's coming back. I wouldn't be surprised if they haven't announced the Saturday and Sunday. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to split up Leiter and Rocker. They don't. They say there isn't a need to do that, but Corbin would be available on Sunday. He'd be available Saturday, but I think they'd give him the extra day,
sure.
So they could go deGrom, Rocker, Corbin. They also have the luxury now of having Jake Latz, who theoretically could replace somebody in the rotation. I doubt that would happen, but he's there to give guys an extra day. He's there if a team doesn't hit lefties well. He is suddenly become a guy that the Rangers can't live without.
Wow.
He does do good things in the bullpen. There's no question about that. But right now, with Cody Bradford out for the rest of the year, and John Gray still probably 5 weeks away from pitching in a major league game, they need the rotation depth. And Jake Latz is suddenly a guy. So,
wow,
there's some interesting decisions to mull with him.
We're big fans of Jake. Jake's come on a couple times. Jake is just an unbelievable guy. He goes out of his way to say hi when you see him. I'm so happy for him. But let's get something out of the way since you brought him up. There's been this kind of rumbling with the who of the Texas Ranger fandom about how the media has been hiding, or the Rangers are hiding medical news and all of that. And it's just BS. I mean, we talked to Cody last week or week before where he sounded like, hey, I'm almost ready to go out on a rehab and do something. He ran into some issues. It turned out to be the worst thing possible. But these guys give you the medical reports. We know what's going on. Not me, you guys. I'm talking about the beats. You guys get this. This is not – the Rangers don't cover up injuries. They're giving you what they know. Sometimes it's just the diagnosis from the beginning. Until you get some imaging, you're kind of thinking it's one thing, and it ends up being the worst thing.
Yeah. The Bradford thing is it's terrible because we like Cody, and he's going to be a good pitcher, and the Rangers like him. If you want to backtrack all the way to when it happened, elbow discomfort, thought it would be 3 to 5 days. It's the imaging. All right. Then it's 3 weeks, no throw. Okay. So, and then they laid out a rehab program for him, and he took it so slowly and meticulously, as they all do. And there were constant updates from him personally and the team all along the way. And if you paid any attention at all, you knew that he was on his way back, and that this ligament, it just didn't work out for him. You always try to avoid surgery.
Sure. They don't like surgery.
Surgery is the last thing you want to do. John Gray broke his wrist. All right. That's pretty clear, medical diagnosis. They'd made it that night. He didn't have to have surgery, and he was so grateful that he didn't have to have surgery. Nobody wants to have surgery. No. So that's the first thing you need to get out of your minds. Surgery is not the first option.
No.
And you can go down the list. deGrom, they tried to avoid the second Tommy John. They spent about a month, maybe even a little longer than a month with that. Neftali Feliz, if you want to go back to 2012, Neftali Feliz, they tried to massage for a month or 6 weeks before he had to have the surgery. It's standard practice. They weren't hiding anything. And then, the people are talking about Evaldi. All right. Initially, they said it was a precautionary move and he wasn't going to miss a start. And then it was, he's not going to miss a start, but we'll probably bump him back a couple days. And then they decided, as the Rangers under this under this era, and even with going back to John Daniels, they always err on the side of caution.
Sure.
So they want their horse, who they just invested $75 million in, to not have any issues, and to not have a recurring problem over the season.
Don't rush it.
So it turned into something. Guess what? Injuries are fluid. It nobody recovers the same way. And so just this notion. Somebody said Jake Berger. They announced Jake Berger the next day. They were concerned that night. Jock Peterson. Somebody said Jock Peterson. Jock Peterson broke his damn hand.
Yep.
All right. And he's getting X-rays today to see if he can continue right on the timeline that they laid out. So nobody here pays attention. These people who think the Rangers are covering up injuries, they just don't pay attention, and they don't understand.
Let me tell you who they
history. And the Rangers aren't the only ones. All 30 teams deal with injuries. Ask the Dodgers about their injuries right now.
Boy, they're bad right now. Yeah, they're dealing with.
Ask the Diamondbacks about their injuries. Okay.
Oh man. It's just unbelievable. And you know what part of it is too? And I guarantee you, because I dealt with one of them that I actually said it to, and I didn't even respond afterwards. They're not behind the paywall. So they're not reading the stories every day with quotes from everything, where you could be reading right along, knowing what's going on. And they're not behind the DLLS paywall. And so when he brings it up, I go, here, go read the story. Here's the story right here that lays out. It was the one you wrote on Bradford. I said, it explains it right here. They're not hiding anything. Why would I go do that when he's just, and I immediately knew, not even responding to you. You don't pay for DLLS, and that's why. And you don't know what everybody that's a beat writer is behind a paywall. And so you're going to have to, for the inside stuff, you're going to have to do it. And it's so freaking cheap that it's crazy. The DLLS paywall gets you everybody. You're not just doing Rangers. I mean, we're talking about all 4 major sports in Dallas-Fort Worth. Anyway, getting off that bandwagon, I tend to rant a little bit, but I deal more with them than y'all do. But I'm telling you, I knew exactly what it was after that. And the Rangers don't hide anything. And it's, let me tell you something else. The guys that are on the beat that do this for a living, when somebody's hurt, do you think that they don't go in right away and go, so update us. What is up? Why did he leave? What's going on? Do you not think they do that, or they just go, well, they probably don't want to talk about it, So you guys have a job to do. I hear you asking it all the time. Any update? What's going on? And they fill you in with what they can. They're not hiding anything. It just
it's I don't know what it is, and I don't know if there's this people feel emboldened by social media to say stupid stuff, but it's really dumb. I mean, there's just no other way to say it.
Yeah.
And if you're saying these things and not reading, whether it's me or anybody else, you're uninformed.
Yeah.
And so you're making yourself look like a fool while you think you're some hotshot leaning into some conspiracy. Fact of the matter is, you're probably 100% uninformed on what is happening.
Well, and I'll give you examples of this too. There are people. Look, I am media. I'm part of, but I'm not media. I'm not the guys that are there every day. People will come to me and say, "Hey, what's going on with this?" My response is usually, "Let me ask Jeff. He'll know," because Jeff knows. Jeff is in there dealing with them all the time. He knows who to contact, who to do that. What did I text you last night? The deal with David Davalillo. Now, Frisco, up until earlier, I haven't looked, had him listed as the starter tonight.
There's just you've seen this a lot here lately. You have to play the numbers game on these rosters, and so you'll see guys that are getting transferred back and forth between Frisco and Round Rock. It's just a numbers thing. They don't even report because the next day they're back on the Frisco roster.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's, you put a guy on a development list. Well, maybe you have somebody and you're over your numbers threshold. And so,
Needs to come in and get an inning or do whatever. And hey,
or,
so
or
what's the
you
roster
just
move?
need a roster spot.
Right. So what do you think the roster move is tonight? So Evaldi's coming off the IL. So,
Yeah.
I mean, somebody's got to go. And I'm trying. Is it Dunning? Is it?
I would guess it's Dunning.
And he'll probably just be optioned now, right? He still has an option.
He's on the 40 man, so he can be optioned. They have been operating basically with 9 relievers.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it would be our guest. He certainly doesn't deserve it. Now baseball's cruel, but he can provide length. The bullpen's fresh.
Yeah.
But the one caveat being is that Evaldi is only giving them 4 innings tonight.
Right.
So what are they going to do behind him? And so it'll be interesting. But well,
let's be honest. They only want Evaldi to go 4 innings, but if Evaldi's under his pitch count and he can go 5, he'll go. I mean, if he's,
I would think, but as much as it's pitches, it's how many times do you get up? Like how many times do you rest between innings? So, but they don't want to mess with it. They put him on the injured list to make sure he's healthy. They don't want to just start burning him at both ends right out of the chute. So
exactly,
that is a good question. And we'll
find out later.
There aren't a lot of candidates. So we'll see what happens. But something does have to give here. And it can't be Langford going to the IL because there would still be a imbalance of position players and pitchers. Yeah, it has to be a pitcher.
And if Langford does go, who do you think there is? Is that a chance for Krim to maybe come back, or maybe a Harris? Or
I'm not sure because it's not like Harris is killing it down there right now. He's been better. They don't have any open 40-man spots. Because like in a perfect world, Cody Bradford would get called up. But I think I think they're going to, depending on what the imaging showed, they'll probably try to give Wyatt a couple days.
Yeah.
To avoid the IL. And, if it's just the same thing that he had in Pittsburgh, maybe they do give him 10 days down. And maybe you do recall, Krim certainly is the most deserving outside who's on the 40 man, but it's I don't know. That'll be an interesting one.
Yeah, because Wyatt's an outfield. They have outfielders. I mean, with Haggerty, Carter, and Adolis, and then you can go into Duran or Smith if you need to.
Right.
There's guys that can play outfield. So the 40 man, it's going to be a guy on the 40. So you would think Krim is the most deserving, could come up here and DH or do what. I mean, and there's so many things to do. Duran's been pretty good too, or he's been better doing that. But hey, listen, coming into this weekend though, this is a big series. This is a chance to do with Seattle. This is, in my opinion, you've got to show up good this weekend.
Yeah, and it's one of the teams in front of the Rangers. It's pretty tightly bunched. There's a gap to the Astros, but the teams second, third, and fourth are kind of right there at each other's heels. So, chance to make ground up, not necessarily on the Astros, but knock out one of the teams in front of you, so that you have a clear path to the top. We all know the Astros can pitch, and that's a concern for this offense. But that's where the manufacturing the runs comes in. That the Rangers need to understand. I'm sure they do by now. They're playing. They're going to be playing low scoring games.
Sure.
Need to have quality at bats. Can't miss their pitch if they get it. That kind of thing. But they also, if you need to do something like get a runner over, go ahead and bite the bullet and get the guy over. All right. Your teammates will appreciate it. Yeah.
Manufacture it. Do it. Hey, let me tell you what, I don't know if you've seen this, and you've probably not asked about it yet, or maybe you have. I don't know. You were in Baltimore. You were out on the road for this one, but there are some rumors swirling that the Rangers have talked to JD Martinez. who has not had a gig yet, and that is a bat that went on as a good bat, got some power. He's been a 6-time All-Star, I think, something to that effect. Have you heard anything, or what do you know?
I don't know anything about that. I don't know.
Bob Nightingale said it.
Great. You gotta temper it with the understanding that there's not a lot of money. All right.
Right.
And all Martinez does is DH.
Sure.
Okay. Jock Peterson, when he comes back, that's all he's going to do.
Yep.
I don't know that it makes a ton of sense. And the Rangers do their diligence. They check in on lots of things, but I just don't see that one happening.
Okay.
It doesn't make a lot of sense to me unless he's willing to play for the league minimum, maybe sign a minor league contract. But what's he been doing?
Or an incentive.
He's gonna have to go to the minor leagues. He's not just gonna hop into the lineup.
Sure.
It's not a short-term play. It's something that would take a lot of time, and I don't know that I mean, it could happen, but I don't think it's a front burner issue.
Well, I think the words that were used it was a non-guaranteed big league contract, meaning I guess it's not guaranteed, or maybe it's incentive laced or something to that effect. But that's what I would guess, more incentive laced or something like that. You got a chance to earn what you want, but you're going to have to earn it. Something to that effect if you come and do that. I mean, but yeah, if you sign him and you have to take him to the minor leagues to get some reps, I mean, don't you have to? You're going to have to go ahead and put him on the 40 initially, right? And then,
well, if it's a major league deal, he goes on the 40. So who are you taking off?
Yeah,
I guess it would be Dunning, but Gerson Garabito's gone.
Yeah.
So don't have that one anymore. But I really don't have any information on it.
Okay.
So I don't want to speculate. But to me, it doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense, or at least I can punch some holes into it.
Well, hey, let's get Cole in here, and let's talk to Cole Winn. You got anything else before we do that?
Nope. Let's get him in.
Cole Winn right after this, guys. All right, guys, and joining us right now is Texas Rangers right-hand pitcher Cole Winn, friend of the show here. He's been on a few times, and man, he's making his mark right now on the big league team, which is where we knew he was going to end up, and now he's solidifying himself. Cole, what's going on, man?
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I mentioned it early on. We're Colorado guys. We got to stay together. I appreciate the Buffs hat that you're wearing.
Absolutely, I did it for you.
Well, I appreciate it. I had my Colorado shirt, like that one I sent you. I did get it. It's just hanging up, so I didn't put it on. But I may have to wear it for you now. It's a reciprocal move here.
I think we should. Yeah,
take it to the ballpark. All right, you got it.
I think we should.
I'll do a wardrobe change here in a minute.
All right, perfect.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us as always. Still have the stash, so that's a good thing. What's changed for you? What's changed since last year for you? Is it just feeling comfortable in the major leagues, or did you make a change mechanically?
I think it's just getting more comfortable. The more time you're up and the more you're around the guys and, get a feel of the game, like it starts to go back to the game you grew up playing. So at the end of the day, it is still just a game. So I think I am feeling a little bit more comfortable. And then, last year being down in June and not playing the rest of the year, I think you find that love for the game again.
Yeah.
And I think when you get to come back and play, I think you have a little different appreciation for it.
Well, yeah. That injury just kind of flew under the radar. How long did it take you to get back to, full health?
I started throwing probably like late July, early August, and then back on a mound in September, and then I was back healthy at the end of October.
Okay. So you were able to but you didn't have any limitations in the off season.
Right. Yeah, I was able to have a full off season, get the body back to normal, and have a somewhat of a real off season.
Well, that's good. That's good. What you've really been pretty healthy, ever since they drafted you. Um, any what was that experience like? It was something new.
Yeah, it was different for sure. Obviously, health is the biggest priority in the game, and up until last year, this was my first like real injury, so it was a little bit weird. It took a while to get used to, especially not playing and just watching the guys online and not going to the games is a little weird. But I was able to take a little bit of a breather and kind of reflect on debuting and in baseball, and like I said, find that love.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, obviously, you have a job that all of us would love to have, but you still want to have fun at your job. Was baseball becoming? Did it feel like a job instead of a game?
Not really, no.
Okay.
I think it's never really felt like a job. It's a game, and I've been playing it since I was a kid. Like now, obviously the stakes are a little bit different, and the games mean a lot more. But to me, I've never looked at it as like a real job.
Okay, well that's good. But
Yeah.
I mean, people will say to me, "Oh, that's a great job." I'm like, well, thank you. It is fun, but you still have jerks at your job, and you and you still run into problems. It's not like everything's laid out on a bed of roses for you, and especially when you're trying to make it to the major leagues. And I know we've talked to you about this before, but to actually have that moment in Houston, looking back on it a year later, what can you? Is it still like, hey, I did it?
Yeah, obviously, every time I look back on it, it is like, yeah, I did it. Like that feeling is great. Like, like I feel like for everybody's first, like it could go a little bit different, but like I felt like I blacked out there, and I blinked and the outing was over, and then I was a big leaguer. So I think it was obviously a really special day for myself and my family, and it was cool to celebrate that with them.
Well, and like it was a getaway day, so like it was like blink, get on a plane and go. I mean, it was like it was some kind of day. Coincidentally, my car got totaled that day on the way to the ballpark.
Oh no!
Yeah, I remember that day.
Yeah. Some lady was at a stoplight and she didn't stop. So,
oh no!
Yeah,
it was a little bit better day for me, I guess.
I had like a cut on my forehead and a little whiplash that the Rangers were giving me some medicine for. But then Rich Rice said, "Yeah, Cole Winn's going to be here." Like, oh, all right, good. I need some Colorado right now. So,
right.
No. So yeah, I'll never forget that day, 4/14. All right.
There we go. I love it. We'll remember it in different ways.
Exactly. So yeah, the mustache thing, we all know. You haven't allowed an earned run this year. Did you, when you did get called back up this year, did they tell you? I guess you didn't have anything to change, nothing to work on. Is it just been exactly what you've been doing since spring training?
Yeah, changed a little bit. I added a cutter and changed my curveball up a little bit, but other than that, it was still just trying to tack through the middle of the zone and challenge hitters. So yeah, when I actually got up, all the staff was doing mustache May, so I fit right in right away.
Perfect.
But theirs are all gone and mine's still going. So.
Well, you, like they say in Bull Durham, never mess with a streak.
Right.
You can't do it. So
right.
I hope you have it the whole year.
Yeah,
I really do.
I don't know if I could do it the whole year, but I hope so too.
I think you need to start getting creative with it. Like get the Yosemite Sam going. There's a lot of things you can do.
He's got a fiance, man. You got to let him.
Well,
yeah, I don't know if she would like that. If it started getting a little crazy, I'd talk to her about curling it, and wasn't a fan of that.
Okay, all right. So, what has the cutter done for you?
I think it's just added more so, along with the sinker and four seam. It's just kind of like a triangle of fastballs that gives the hitters a little different look, and it's it's harder. I think I've gotten up to 93, 94, like the best ones. And then it's something to go into lefties, which is what I guess I struggled with, like in and like up to lefties. So I think it's been good to kind of use that along with my sinker.
So have you ditched the slider, or it's just replaced the slider?
Yeah, it's more so replace the slider.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, you were a starter. You've thrown a ton of pitches your whole career, so it just I guess it's the evolution of a pitcher changing the arsenal and everything. And then I thought the addition of Jordan Teagues would help out a young guy like you. How has he been as the bullpen coach? And you've had a long relationship with him.
Yeah, he's awesome. I think it just adds another level of comfortability. I worked with him in 2020. He was there with us in COVID, and I've had a great relationship with him since. So I think, him being there, I think he knows his stuff really well. He knows me really well. If there's something a little bit off, he'll come to me and tell me like, "Hey, you're doing this," and then it's a subtle change we'll fix. And I mean, I think he's great.
Okay, and I think this is relevant, this question, because you're seeing what Jacob Latz is doing. And I asked Chris Young about it the other day. They haven't closed the door. They're not completely closed-minded to you being a starter again. Is that something you would like to give another go with?
Yeah, absolutely. If they asked me to be a starter, I'd be a starter. If they told me to be in the bullpen, I'd be in the bullpen. I think it's just wherever they want me, I would do. And I was thinking about like watching Latch start. I'm like, well, I kind of miss starting. But at the end of the day, like I'm still loving the bullpen. I think right now, I think it's been really good. I think especially for me as a pitcher, like attacking hitters. I think if I went in the same mindset as a starter and attacked the hitters the way I do out of the bullpen, I think it would be good. But for right now, I'm in the bullpen.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you go start banging on the
More importantly, you're in the big leagues. I know you're in the bullpen, but you're in the big leagues, and I mean having success. I mean, I understand what Jeff's asking, but I'm like, hey, yeah, you want me to start, I'll start, but you keep me in the big leagues. I mean, I'll catch. Do you need me to catch? I don't know what you're gonna do. I want to be here is where I want to be.
That's what I'm saying. I would do anything they ask me to.
Yeah, and that's what Jacob said too. He said, if they want me to stay in the bullpen, I'm glad to do that. But he came up. He's always been a starter, kind of like you were until a couple of years ago. So you're on similar paths, different arms, but similar paths. So hey, we'll see what happens. All right, I'm done with the baseball stuff. I think John's got some.
I got a few to be some
questions
fun ones
prepared.
No, but like you said, it is fun that he's like Jacob did the same thing. What's really fun is to watch homegrown talent that was drafted by this organization coming up, and there's a ton of them that are having success, you being one of them. And that's fun to see with somebody who grew up a fan of the Rangers. It's fun to see development of pitching working out. And we're seeing the great arms throughout the system, but big league levels where it's supposed to pay off, and it's paying off. Cole Winn's doing it. Jake Latch doing it. We got Leiter and Kumar that are up there too. I mean, you're seeing a lot of guys that grew up in this organization. Bradford, unfortunately, before his injury, he's another guy that started out with this organization. But, I mean, it's fun to see that. But let's go back to the fun stuff. Okay, this is so different, and I've always wanted to know this. As somebody that Jeff and I, we would love to have been big leaguers, but we were never good enough to do that. You always want to know this. What's the difference in a plane ride when you're in AAA and a plane ride when you're in the big leagues?
There's a pretty big difference.
You all right, Cole? Are we getting arrested? What's going on?
There was some cops over there pulling somebody over, but
oh Jesus, that seemed a little strong for just a traffic violation.
It was a street over. Okay, we're good here. Right. We're good here. But yeah, the plane rides are a little bit different. Most times, I think, especially early this year, I got put in the middle seat in the back of the plane in AAA flights. Yeah. So I think you're just a little bit more comfortable on big league flights. You can get up, walk around, and it's first class seats all the way back. And yeah, I mean, it's just it's a lot different. You don't have to go through like the TSA security, and yeah, I mean it's great. I can't complain with the big league flights.
Hey, so, right now, and you've been up for a while now, you've had a taste. You haven't been to all of them yet, but we know Globe Life Field's your favorite big league stadium because that's your home stadium. But besides that, being on the road, where have you gone to on the road now and said, wow, this is a cool stadium. I really dig this, or the atmosphere. I can't believe I'm here doing this. Has there been a stadium or two that you're like, man, this is really cool?
Yeah, I think Yankee Stadium earlier this year, I think was really cool. Just because of it's Yankee Stadium. New
Sure.
York is awesome. And then another one I really liked was Philly last year. I really liked Philly. I don't know what it was, I thought the stadium was really cool.
Yeah.
I thought the fans were funny, yelling at you constantly. I thought that was great. But yeah, I'd say those are probably my top two. And then Atlanta last year, I thought was cool. That would be my top three.
What did you think about Camden Yards? I mean, it was like, the first of the I guess they're not new anymore, but they went through that wave in the early 90s, probably before you were born, talking about these new ballparks. What did you think about it?
I liked Camden Yards. It was cool. The bullpen was nice. The playing surface was nice. The mound was great. Yeah, I really liked Camden Yards. I thought where we stayed was cool too, like by the water. And
oh yeah, that's a good spot. That's a good hotel for you guys.
Which one of them had the best spread? I know you guys get fed a little differently than minor leaguers do. I mean, they cook for you guys. Where did you go to and went, man, this is some good grub?
I think New York was probably my favorite. That spread was the best so far.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Are you a big crab guy? Because the first night in Baltimore, as you learned, they always do the I don't know, blue crabs or stone crabs, some kind of crab.
Yeah, I didn't try any. I am a crab guy, but I didn't try any. I don't know why. I just walked right out, didn't even pay attention.
Well, it was hot. I don't know if that's
really
crab weather or not. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, so couple more, and we're going to get you out of here.
Well,
Look,
I got one for him. Before, I mean, while you were talking about the first round picks, there's 6 of them right now on the roster.
Yeah.
And Cole's like the oldest one drafted because he was the 18 draft. He's not I don't know if he's the oldest player. So I think Josh Young.
He was young. He was 18 coming out of high school.
Right. But I mean, you kind of have like draft seniority. It's kind of weird. But like 18 through 25, they're all on the roster, or 8 through 23, they're all on the roster right now. That's kind of cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. Yeah, I think Josh Young has got me beat on age and then obviously big league time. So I think he's probably the captain of the first round group right now.
Yeah. Are you older than Rocker? Or are you guys the same age?
I think he's got me beat by a few days.
Okay.
We're pretty close. I think he's got a November birthday.
Because you're November
25th.
He's November. Yeah. So he's the 22nd.
Oh, he's got me by 3 days.
Okay.
There you go.
3 days.
And you're over because your locker's over by Jack. Is Jack younger than you or older than you?
I think he's younger than me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I got him beat by a little bit.
You know to mess with him about peanut butter, right? If you ever need to mess with him, he hates peanut butter.
That's what I heard. Yeah, he was. You're saying he doesn't like peanut butter. I don't know if I've ever met somebody that doesn't like peanut butter. That's not allergic to it. I've met somebody
who's allergic.
Yeah.
He likes peanuts, but he doesn't like peanut butter. I talked to his mom one time in AA. She was like, it was the worst when you're trying to travel to watch his dad play ball. You got to make snacks, and all the daughters loved peanut butter, and he wouldn't eat it. So it was weird. Okay, right now on the big league team, who's your mentor? Who's somebody you really go to? You bounce stuff off. Has there been anybody that's really helped you out?
I think Spores. Josh Spores would be the one I go to and just kind of ask him questions like, hey, is this something I should be doing? Is it not doing? And I think he's been great with kind of guiding me through the first couple of years in the big leagues. He's been awesome with that. And then Luke Jackson is always approachable. Go up to him, ask him anything. I mean, he's been doing it for a while, been with many different teams, and he's got a lot of experience. So you talk to him, and then obviously Chris Martin in the bullpen, really approachable, great with the young guys. but yeah, I'd say those were my top 3 right now.
Awesome.
Yep.
I love to hear that. I love to hear the big league guy that you guys helping each other out. That's fantastic. All right. So when is the wedding, by the way?
Not sure yet. We haven't set a date, so we're still trying to figure that out.
When did you get engaged? Did you get engaged before the season, or?
It was right around probably a week or 2 after I got called up. I was planning on doing it, and then it just so happened I got called up and did it here.
Okay.
So this is a recent thing.
Yeah, really recent.
Okay.
Well, that's
now,
great.
Now she's somebody you grew up with. Where did you meet her?
I met her. I DM'd her on Instagram.
Okay.
Atta baby.
And yeah, there we go. And then met up in spring training in 21, 22.
Okay.
And yeah, been talking ever since. And
is she from
started
Arizona?
dating. She originally grew up in Hawaii and then went to college in Arizona. So I met her in Arizona.
Okay. That's fantastic. Yeah. You know, my daughter's 27, and her and her current boyfriend, who I think are probably going to end up together, they kind of met that way too, the Instagram thing or whatever it was, that DM. All right.
The modern love story.
Slide into some DNs, man.
Yeah,
right. Does her family still live in Hawaii?
One of her sisters do, but the other ones live in California and Arizona.
Okay. Well, I was thinking those would be some pretty sweet family vacations.
Yeah, right. I've actually never been to Hawaii. We've been trying to get out there, but with the schedule, it's tough to get out there. I've heard nothing but good things.
Very good. Yeah.
Hey, is there anything you're streaming right now? Any shows or anything you're?
Not really. No. I'm a big rewatch shows. So on the plane, I started rewatching Peaky Blinders.
That's a good one. I was going to start.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I think the 4th season is my favorite season.
Yeah, I didn't get to it yet. I've always things changed during the 2nd season. By the way, have you ever seen that, Jeff?
No, I have not.
You know who's in it is what's his name? The guy that's the lead. What's the guy's name? He's one of the most.
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, Cillian Murphy's the lead in that. Now he's Academy Award winner and all that. He's good.
I know what you're talking about. Oh, here we go. Let's. He's Irish. All right, I know who he is. Okay.
Okay, you know who he is. All right. Hey, listen, Cole. Seriously, we thank you for coming on here. Let's get you out of here. You got to get to the stadium soon. We're going to see you out there in a little while. You and I talked a couple of weeks ago. You're like, yeah, anytime, let's do it. Jeff got in there, and you were immediately like, yeah, well, let's get together. Let's do it. It's been great. We're going to do it again, hopefully, by the end of the season. It'd be fun to do it. Maybe for a playoff preview would be fun. We want to see you guys get going on that. That's what we got to do. And if you're staying in the Metroplex this off season, we're going to try to do some sort of live show or something like that. Maybe come out and hang out and bring your fiance. We'll meet her and get her some food or something. But hey, we appreciate it. Look, we really appreciate it. We really appreciate you coming out, and we can't thank you enough, bud.
Thank you guys for having me on.
All right, guys. We'll see you in a couple hours.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good.
See you guys. Go Winn, guys. We're going to go down in the bus leagues right after this. Big thanks to Cole Winn for coming on there, guys. Now it's time to go down in the bus leagues. We're going to start at the top with the Frisco Rough Riders, go all the way down. We'll even touch base with some DSL news. The Frisco Rough Riders, first of all, every team in the minor leagues right now has started their second half of the season. None of them ended up winning their division the first time, so we don't have any playoff teams yet, confirmed playoff teams. Frisco was the closest. I think they lost it there that last weekend. In fact, I went out to a game this week. I didn't know I told you that you were in Baltimore. I ran out for that day game Tuesday.
Yeah.
Kathy's group went out there, and so I said, I'll go out and get my credential and hang out in the press box and do that. I did talk to Carlos for a second. He was coming by, he gave me a big old hug and asked if, and he said, well, if we can get the bats going. So I guess they were wanting some offense to get rolling. And again, the guys that were impressive were impressive. But let's start with AAA. They're in the second half of the season. They're in second place right now. They're 2-1 starting the second half. They've won 2 in a row. Who do we talk about there?
Well, I mean, they're getting some offense here in this series. Alan Trejo's had a nice series. He was in big league camp. He was even in the majors for a little bit this year with the Rockies. But Krim keeps hitting. Cody Freeman keeps hitting. Again, it's all about pitching here, and they're kind of piecing things together,
Yeah.
I guess Howard's on the 40-man, Curvello's on the 40-man if a reliever is needed. So
Bosley.
Yeah, Bosley needs to, do his time, do his 15 days after the option. He'll
Unless
be back.
there's an injury.
Yeah, he'll be back in the big leagues pretty soon, though.
Yeah. And so, that's normal what we see down there. They're getting going. The AA Frisco Rough Riders sit in first place again to start it off. They're 2-1, starting out the second half of the season, and they started that Tuesday. When it started, they're 2-1. They've won one, so they won Tuesday, lost Wednesday, and then ended up winning yesterday. I'll tell you this: I was out there. Again, it's fun to watch Sebastian Walcott. Sebastian got a couple of hits. They weren't scorchers, but boy, his legs are something else.
Well, again, the keys are how's he doing with the strikeouts? All right. The strikeout rate's down from last year. All right. The power is going to be there. He hasn't hit for much power of late, but
I think he's got 8 home runs, doesn't he? 8 or 9.
Yeah. This is a young kid. We're still talking about a 19-year-old. Cam Cauley's having a little resurgence. He's showing off a little power. Luis Miesas continues to hit home runs. Again, not a top flight prospect, but you never know. You never know when a guy's gonna bloom. Aaron Zavala, he hit a 3-run homer last night, I believe. He's cooled off a little bit, but still a nice rebound year for him. And then on the pitching side, Cole Drake, I can't imagine he's in AA for much longer. Just really dominant here of late. Mitch Bratt's been very, very good, of course. So those two guys, I'm guessing, will be on the move at some point. I think Drake before Bratt.
Guys, I think Frisco's in town until I think they do take a break next week. Is there an all-star come or something to that? But they're in town the rest of this week, and I think even going into next week. So if you haven't had a chance to get out there. The tickets you're going to see big leaguers playing for Frisco Rough Riders, future big leaguers.
Speaking of big leaguers and Round Rock, our sponsor, they're playing Tacoma, and Leody Taveras is on the Tacoma team. I miss Leody. He's a good man, and wish nothing but the best for him.
Yep. All right, let's go down to Hub City. The Hub City Spartanburgers. That's the high A team. Hub City is 3-3 starting the second half. They won last night. This guy we talked about all the time for Frisco or for Hub City is now going to be I'm assuming, the starter listed tonight for Frisco, David Devilio. He's already been up there. He's made one start. He's supposed to start tonight, but in Hub City, our guy Keith Jones the second. Didn't he win Player of the Week or something?
He's been on a roll. They've been battling rain here, so they played a doubleheader last night. Glider Figueroa won the second one with a walk-off homer. He's up to 12 home runs. Still kind of all or nothing with him. But Dreiling and Cook, the second and third rounders from last year, not great, but they're playing every day and getting their reps. So, Anthony Gutierrez is, again, hot and cold. Malcolm Moore is back. So that's the big one there.
Yeah.
He came back after his little thumb injury. Wasn't little, it was a fracture that cost him, basically 2 months. So anyway, they're kind of getting the pieces all back together there.
All right, Hickory Crawdads, and their player of the week was also Maxton Martin, who we've had on here. They're 5-1. They're first place and 5-1. They've started out hot the second half. They won again last night. Maxton Martin's a name to watch down there. There's who else
Well, I mentioned last week, and if this happened, I missed it. But Dalton Pence is going to be getting called up to Hub City pretty soon. Mason Molina has already been called up. You're still watching Scarborough. You're still watching Brock Porter if you're interested in him, and it just keeps going out there. I know we say the same thing every week, but he's been pretty good. So it's not like a huge star power team. There are some international guys on the hitting side. like Cabrera, who is picking it up a little bit here. I would imagine that this. Oh, Devin Fitzgerald, of course, has been called up. He's batting .250 in his first 6 games. This roster will start to see some of the complex league guys toward the end of that season get called up to the full season squad. So
yeah,
that's kind of, this is a bunch of young guys and maybe some college guys who are filling spots. We'll be honest, but the Rangers still like them to some degree.
I tell you what, and if you're a baseball nerd and you love baseball and do all of that, I tell you, we're at the end of June. We're coming into July. There's still some weeks left this summer. If you're looking for a vacation, it might be worth taking a trip into the Carolinas, which is beautiful itself. But to get in there and maybe make a baseball trip out of it, go see Hub City and go see Hickory. They're not that far apart. I only think they're about 80 to 90 miles apart.
They're pretty close.
You can spend one day at one and one at the other. See a couple of the Rangers prospects. They're always, minor league games are fun to go to. And I'm so glad that they're around the country for people that don't live in big league cities. It's a great chance to go see some guys do that. We're going to go down to the Arizona Complex League where they're in second place right now. They are 22-17. This team's been good pretty much all since it started.
Yeah, they have some good young talent. Paulino Santana is kind of finding his footing there. They don't have Devin Fitzgerald anymore, so I'm sure that was kind of a blow. But the pitching side again, Hageman is going to be getting called up real soon. He was the 5th rounder last year out of West Virginia. Had the Tommy John, and so he'll be moving up. And so it's just hot, and those kids are out there working hard.
It is hot.
It's not any fun, I don't think, but hey, good for them.
And below that, and another place that's hot, if you go to the Dominican Republic, the DSL Rangers, there's 2 teams playing there. Red team right now is 11-6, which we've already talked about a couple times. They did tend to stack one team and not the other. And the blue team has won 3 games. So they're now 3-15. But it doesn't matter. Look, if you're on the blue team, if you shine there, it's going to give you a chance to move up. But
100%, it's just a chance. These kids are so young,
Yep, absolutely. We're talking 16, 17-year-olds in some cases. But that seems like a trip I might like to do sometime. Go down. You've seen it, right? You made a trip down there to see that complex.
Yeah, I did go with Rangers officials. I think that's the key. Don't go down there unless you speak the language and understand Dominican life.
Yes. Well, if I ever decided to do something, there are some vacation spots in the Dominican Republic. I just wonder if they're close enough.
They're not.
You might
they're not.
do that.
Punta Cana is way on the other side of the island.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, we're going to wrap this one up. A big thanks to Cole Winn for coming in with us today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, do all of that. Big thanks to Round Rock for sponsoring this. For Cole Winn, Jeff Wilson, I'm John Moore. And until next week, guys, we'll see you at the yard.